Listen, the hits keep coming for Tesla.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought this would be a smooth week into AI day. I thought we were going to go ride a wave right nicely into Thursday, which it was a good day for Tesla today. So I don't want to act like it was so bad, but the past 2 days have not been so hot. Earlier in the week, there was, which I guess it was Monday, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA, had opened a formal investigation into Tesla's autopilot system. And if that wasn't enough, today, two Democratic leaders had called for, Senate leaders had called for the FTC to investigate Tesla over the company's advertising of autopilot and full self-driving. Essentially what they're saying is they're misleading customers, false advertising, and they're leading customers to believe that they can essentially drive without paying attention. I guess that's the best way to put it, is like, hey, this full self-driving is ready. You can be on autopilot. It'll drive itself. And they're saying that Tesla is marketing it as such. Brad, I guess I have two questions here. Should investors be worried about this, right? Like, what are the short-term and long-term implications of this? And would you be worried about it? And then the second question is this legitimate? Like, is this a legitimate investigation?
Yeah, so I actually was looking through this. I mean, we talked about it earlier about this potential issue with them. And I think that I pulled up an article from Electric. If you guys don't follow them and you're into EVs, the EV sector, this is definitely a site to follow. They report pretty accurate information. So they mentioned that there is, I think, about 5 or 6 NHTSA investigations, and hasn't really impacted the stock, but maybe one day. The author here, what was his name? Fred Lambert, that's right. Basically mentioned that he felt as if the downturn in Tesla was more market related, and because Tesla is more volatile in any kind of condition, whether it's good or bad, we're going to see a little bit more of an extended move from Tesla compared to the regular market. So I think that the NHTSA probe isn't really that big of a deal, but it is interesting because it almost kind of, when you were talking about it, it kind of reminded me of the gamification argument that Congress was making when it came to Robinhood. And some of the things that they were doing to, I guess, quote unquote, gamify investing rather than actually taking it seriously. So there could be some meat on this bone. We'll just have to wait and see. But my initial thoughts, my knee-jerk reaction is that it's not a big deal.
Man, I couldn't disagree with more. He's saying that he thinks NHTSA had nothing to do with the market, with it pulling back on Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah, and I agree. Only because history has shown that NHTSA investigations, and we saw this with airbags, we saw this with other autopilot issues that Tesla's had over the years. I specifically remember doing a video on this before it was this on that, and it reacted maybe for a day, and it came right back, no problem.
Well, wouldn't that support the argument that, I mean, it was 2 days it came down, and then it came back today?
But the rest of the market's kind of coming back today.
Maybe. So I mean, it's been hot all day. It's up 4%. The rest of, the S&P and the Qs are red. Yeah. So if the market was green, I don't know. I don't like Fred. I think I disagree with that because, number one, it's a guess, so it's speculation in general. I think the timing is rather interesting for both of these. Well, the investigation and then sort of the call for the FTC to investigate. I don't know. I think with NIO had some, if you look at the other EVs, NIO had some conversations surrounding I guess they had it was like an executive that had died in an accident as far as their self-driving as well. And so I think in general, there's some like regulatory concerns around it, which on one hand I get, but on the other hand, like these are the type of things that aren't necessarily surprising, but I would have suspected a similar move from all the EVs if it was a market constraint type of thing.
Yeah, it is speculative. The S&P had its worst day in a month on Monday, or yesterday rather. So who knows? I guess as far as the reaction is concerned.
Yeah. So we'll see. It kind of changes things as far as AI days concerned. I was expecting the run into Thursday. I thought it would actually last all week, but it really caught up today. And so, maybe it is that 1 day pop. I can't imagine that that didn't affect anybody at all.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because it also, people are expecting to hear about full self-driving. Like the probe is around full self-driving. And I would, whether you believe it or not, I would definitely keep an eye on the headline as far as if the FTC does take this advice and decides to actually launch an investigation and what impact or implications that could have for the Tesla stock. I don't know, but it's worth being aware of that nothing has happened with the FTC yet, but something could be launched as far as a probe for FTC. It's just really, really ironic that within 72 hours, these two probes happen.
Yeah.
In the same week as AI Day and conversations surrounding full self-driving. That just seems awfully, awfully ironic.
Fat man Zoom putting his tinfoil hat on.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, Tesla, I'm still bullish as ever on Tesla.
Yeah.
And the reality is, what I think is a little bit ridiculous is like, CEOs are meant from a market perspective to really promote their products and be bullish about it. I don't know if I could say that Elon has done anything that has misled people other than like painted an optimistic picture for full self-driving.
Yeah.
So you kind of get stuck here and you're wondering like, are their powers working against like just general market sentiment? We'll see.